Mama June, Alana heartbroken as Pumpkin decides to divorce Josh. He's like a father figure to her. Alana Thompson is feeling the heartbreak on the Family Crisis Season 7. She appears to be watching her family falling apart. The Mama June star just learned that her sister Pumpkin is planning to divorce her husband, Josh Eford. Honey Boo Boo grew up at her sister's home and called her brother-in-law her Dada. Hence, fans understand how devastating it must be for the celebrity to see her sister and brother-in-law part ways. Alana always felt safer with Pumpkin and Josh. The couple adopted her at a time when her mom was busy with her substance abuse addiction. They took care of her and supported her through every phase of life. How did Alana react? Does she have any complaints from Josh? Why is she feeling so heartbroken? Mama June. Alana confronts Pumpkin about her issues with Josh. Mama June star Alana Thompson went to Colorado to pursue her nursing degree in Season 6. Pumpkin and Josh tried their best to help her fulfill her dream. However, after returning from college, Alana felt a change in the dynamics between the couple. She noticed that Josh didn't stay at home a lot, and he didn't even show up at the vendor's event. Hence, the reality TV star felt something was definitely wrong, and she needed to ask her sister about it. Pumpkin decided to break the bad news to Alana in a recent episode. She explained that things were not going well between her and Josh. She also admitted to taking couples therapy with her husband. The TV star noted, "We're still not like communicating." Lauren explained she only co-parents with Josh. She also planned to divorce her husband if things didn't get any better. Mama June. Alana devastated over Josh and Pumpkin's divorce. Alana Thompson struggled a lot as a child because of her mom's drug addiction and legal issues. She was grateful to have a sister like Pumpkin who stood for her. The latter and her husband Josh adopted her legally from the court to raise her with their 4 children. In a recent teaser, Pumpkin and Josh went to a marriage counselor for their therapy session. Lauren revealed that her husband didn't show up in the previous session. She pointed out their lack of communication and felt they can't continue like this. The TV star feels they should act like grown-ups and file for a divorce. Josh was visibly shaken to hear the word, and his eyes welled up. However, Honey Boo Boo wasn't expecting such news and felt heartbroken. She never thought Pumpkin and Josh would take such a step in their life. The Mama June star noted, "Josh is almost like a father figure to me." Alana also talked about her emotions during a recent interview with Us Weekly. She explained that Josh stopped speaking to her at some point when he was getting a divorce from Lauren. The TV star noted, "I mean, if we're being completely honest, we don't really converse anymore." Honey Boo Boo still don't know why Josh did it to her, but she didn't want to throw any shade at him. Keep returning to TV season and spoilers for more tea on Josh and Pumpkin's divorce drama. The Shannon family has never shied away from drama, but this time the tension cut deeper than ever. Just when things appeared to be settling down for Lauren Pumpkin Eford and her growing family, she dropped a bombshell that sent emotional shockwaves through their already fragile dynamic. She was ending her marriage to Joshua Eford. The divorce news didn't just rattle the adults. It devastated Alana Honey Boo Boo Thompson. For years, Josh had been more than a brother-in-law to her. He was a constant presence in her chaotic world, stepping up when others failed, and providing the kind of stability she had craved since childhood. To Alana, he wasn't just Pumpkin's husband. He was the closest thing she had to a father figure. And now, he was leaving. A slow unraveling behind closed doors. While the public often saw Josh and Pumpkin's relationship as rock solid, insiders knew the truth had been unraveling for a while. Behind their curated family TikToks and filtered Instagram reels was a household burdened by stress, miscommunication, and growing emotional distance. Pumpkin had been stretched thin, juggling the weight of raising 4 children, Ella, Bentley, and twins Silas and Stella, along with caring for Alana. And Josh, though present physically, had increasingly distanced himself emotionally. It started subtly. Missed conversations, cold shoulders, nights spent apart even under the same roof. Then it escalated to full-blown arguments behind closed doors. Harsh words were said. Trust began to splinter. At first, Pumpkin kept it all quiet. She wanted to protect the image of family. especially for the sake of Alana, who had already endured more than most girls her age. But as the months dragged on, the tension became impossible to ignore. Even the kids sensed it. Alana's pain behind the cameras. Alana had formed an unshakable bond with Josh over the years. When Mama June had spiraled into addiction and disappeared into toxic relationships, it was Josh who had stepped in with steady hands. He was the one who had driven her to school when Pumpkin couldn't, the one who talked her through teenage crushes, the one who bought her favorite snacks when she had a bad day. She wasn't blind to his flaws. Josh had his moods, his silences, his occasional emotional outbursts. But he had shown up. He had stayed. And that alone had made him golden in Alana's eyes. So when Pumpkin finally sat her down and broke the news, it felt like her whole world shifted. The words were clinical. "We're getting a divorce." But the message was gutting. This wasn't just a breakup. It was the loss of yet another anchor in a life already marked by instability. For Alana, it wasn't just about Josh leaving Pumpkin. It was about Josh leaving her. The turning point. The catalyst for the split wasn't one explosive event, but rather a buildup of years of unmet needs and festering resentments. Pumpkin had taken on too much too soon. Mother, wife, guardian, sister, provider, and the emotional exhaustion had eroded her connection to Josh. Josh, for his part, had started to shut down. He stopped engaging, stopped fighting for the marriage, and started retreating into himself. When Pumpkin confronted him about his emotional unavailability, his response was chillingly indifferent. The final straw came during an argument over finances and child rearing. Josh walked out in the middle of the conversation and didn't come back for 2 days. That silence was louder than any scream. When he returned, Pumpkin had already made up her mind. File out at home. Once the decision was made, things moved quickly. Josh began staying in a small rental nearby, only returning for scheduled visits with the kids. Pumpkin tried to keep a brave face for the children, but the cracks were showing. Her smiles were thinner, her patience shorter. But it was Alana who struggled the most. The night after Josh left, Alana didn't eat dinner. She sat curled on the couch, staring at a framed photo of the family from a better time. Tears welled in her eyes, but she blinked them back, unwilling to cry in front of anyone. That night, she posted a cryptic Instagram story. A black screen with a broken heart emoji and the words, "Everything's changing again." Fans immediately speculated. Some blamed Mama June. Others blamed Josh. But those closest to Alana knew. She was grieving the quietest kind of loss. Mama June's take. Mama June, surprisingly, had remained on the sidelines during most of the drama. But not without her own opinions. She saw the breakdown coming long before the others did. June believed that Josh never really understood the burden Pumpkin carried or how raising so many children at such a young age had drained her. Privately, June felt vindicated. She had always said that Pumpkin had taken on too much. But even as she grumbled about it, she couldn't help but feel a surge of guilt. Her own absence and instability had forced Pumpkin to grow up faster than she should have. Now that sacrifice was unraveling. For once, June didn't gloat. Instead, she offered to help watch the kids more often, a rare gesture of support that didn't go unnoticed by her daughters. Alana's breaking point. The emotional weight became too much for Alana after Josh missed a school event she had begged him to attend. It wasn't a big event, just a local fundraiser for her senior class. But she had asked him weeks in advance, even reminding him the night before. When he failed to show up and texted her a lame excuse hours later, something in Alana snapped. She left the event early, locked herself in her room, and refused to come out for hours. Pumpkin knocked. Mama June texted. Nothing. When she finally emerged, her eyes were puffy and red, but her expression was blank. She moved like a ghost through the house, barely speaking. That night, Pumpkin found her old childhood journal shredded in the trash. On top of it lay a torn photo of Josh holding her as a little girl, trying to cope. Pumpkin attempted to help Alana cope by offering distractions, shopping trips, late-night fast food runs, even talks about college. But none of it filled the void. Alana wasn't just losing a family member. She was losing the illusion that something in her life could be permanent. Still, she tried to put on a brave face. She posted cheerful TikToks, smiled at meet and greets, and even recorded a few promo videos for the family's reality show. But those closest to her noticed the change. The sparkle was dimmer, the energy muted. Josh's goodbye for now. Before leaving for good, Josh asked for one last family dinner. Just him, Pumpkin, and Alana. The air was thick with awkwardness. Josh tried to explain his side, to tell Alana he still cared about her.